Humanity, I love you all with all my heart, with all my might. I'm Soul Ray. My videos are about love, infinity, creation, energy, because this is who we are. We're infinite love, infinite energy, infinite creation. This video is one in the series of freedoms that we have uh, because we are the Republic of Planet Earth. This is our constitution, the Republic of Planet Earth's constitution. Who we are, the human race, the citizens of the Republic of Planet Earth, the citizenry of the Republic of Planet Earth, the defenders of the Republic of Planet Earth, the leaders of the Republic of Planet Earth. Who we are, humanity. A benevolent species or nature. We are the love of our hearts. Love is a key that unlocks the infinite DNA structure of who we are, infinite eternal creators. We're co-creators of infinite eternities. We're sundials. We stare at the sun, open our hearts, open our minds, open our eyes, open the portal, build a bridge, and evolve into infinity. Who we are, our nature. We're compass, identity and true self, purpose, time and energy, action, why, how, flow, true north and destination. This is who we are. We're the human race. We're the epicenter of the cosmos. This is our location. This is where our planet is situated, at the epicenter of existence. We are a biological life form that evolved into infinity. Light spherical energy, who we are, light spherical beings. So let's talk about this freedom. This is a beautiful freedom. It's voting freedoms. Voting freedoms. Okay, so my previous videos have been about infinite veto powers freedoms, electoral freedoms, which are all fundamental freedoms of our Constitution, the Republic of Planet Earth's Constitution. So voting freedoms, let's talk about it. This is our freedoms to vote, to exercise our vote, to elect and select candidates to elected office to represent us as public servants of the Republic of Planet Earth. So there is 3 levels of governance in the Republic of Planet Earth. There's the local seat, there's the judicial seat, and there is the central seat. Okay, so the electoral cycle calendar is one election cycle every year. So there is 3 election cycles because there is 3 levels of governance. The first one, the first year, is the local seat, local government, and elected officials can run for, so their term is for 3 years as well. And they can only run for office up to 3 times, regardless of whether the terms are consecutive or non-consecutive. And then these are the local elected officials that are bestowed the duty of care of all the assets of the Republic of Planet Earth within their jurisdiction, their constituency. And 1 seat, 1 representative for every 5,000 humans, for every 5,000 citizens of the Republic of Planet Earth. And this applies across all jurisdictions, across the entirety of the lands and territories of the Republic of Planet Earth, as per our lands and territories freedoms. Okay, and our electoral freedoms, all these. So this is fundamental, right? And a candidate can run for any constituency, but they can only choose one. But in the end, if they're elected, if they're chosen to be the representative of the citizenry for that constituency, they're not going to be the representative of that constituency per se. They're going to be all of them once the election cycle is completed and everyone is elected. They're going to be all at once simultaneously, randomly chosen, randomly allocated to fill positions across the jurisdictions of of the constituencies of the Republic of Planet Earth. So in that way, there is no conflict of interest of any way, because they're running just for the purpose of serving the citizenry, to honor due process of law, to honor our republic, and defend and uphold our sacredness, our republic, who we are, the human heartbeat, infinite love, infinite energy, infinite creation, the pulse of life, the pulse of creation. So in this way, the system is fair, you see. So their role is precisely that, to ensure the highest standards of care, the highest standards of excellence for all the services within that specific jurisdiction of those 5,000 citizens, all the assets that belong, that are owned by the citizenry of the Republic of Planet Earth. Anyway, so, and this duty of care is bestowed by the Heritage and Legacy Office, which is one of the 5 departments of the Republic of Planet Earth. Okay, so, and that's it. And they have this duty of care for the length of the term. But they rotate constituencies every year. Once a year, they rotate constituencies. So in that way, they can have the privilege, the honor of serving different constituencies in one term. So if they were able to, say, run 3 times and be elected 3 times, they would have the honor of serving 9 different constituencies of the Republic of Planet Earth, because they rotate once a year. So this will be a great honor to do so. So this is a beautiful system, because it allows us, it gives us the highest levels of freedoms, and it's incredible. Okay, it's fair. So then again, so that's the local, right? The first year. Then the second year is the second level of governance. So year 1, local officials are elected. So why is the first year of the electoral cycle calendar cycle is why is a local government? Why is a local seat 1 elected official for every 5,000 citizens? The first one, because the most important is the individual, the human heart, the citizen. Is where power is, where all freedoms come from, because of our infinite free will. So you see, we have to form our democratically elected government at the local level first, to care and serve the public, the citizenry first, right? So we can have the foundation of the Republic already in place as a first cycle, as a first year of elections. Is the first election cycle. It starts there. Then the second cycle is the next year, the following year, and this is the judicial branch, the judicial seat, where the ratio is 2 representatives for every 10,000 people. So it's a little bit bigger than this local. Why? Because there is a judge and a superintendent that are elected as public servants, as elected officials, representatives of that constituency, that jurisdiction. Why? Because we need to be law-abiding citizens. We need to have an orderly republic because of our legal freedoms. This is extremely important, right? It's the utmost important to have a system, a jurisdiction that enforces and protects and defends and helps our freedoms as infinite eternal creators, as citizens of the Republic of Planet Earth. So you see, it starts with the community, and then it moves into the justice, law, our freedoms, our legal frameworks, our constitutional legal frameworks, right? So and so for the jurisdiction, that electorate, will be of their constituency is 10,000 citizens. You see, embedding that community of 5,000. You see, so you have 5,000, and then around that there is a bigger electorate of 10,000 that doubles the size. And this is the judicial branch that is essentially there to ensure those constituents have their freedoms protected and loved and served and defended. So a judge, say, and then again, it's the same logic. So anyone who only citizens can run for office. So standing for office freedoms. So you only run for a constituency of this ratio of 10,000 citizens, right, to represent them. But once you're elected, if you are elected, you're not going to be serving that constituency. You and the superintendent, say a judge and a superintendent, those two citizens who were elected to become representatives of the Republic of Planet Earth at the judicial branch level, at the judicial level, at the judicial seat level, this level of governance, the second level of governance, are going to be all at once everyone is elected, randomly chosen and distributed to fill positions across all the other jurisdictions of the Republic of Planet Earth. And every year they would rotate. So a term is 3 years. All terms are 3 years. And they can only run for up to 3 times, regardless of whether these are consecutive or non-consecutive terms or periods, right? Electoral terms. And every year they're going to rotate. So that means that a superintendent and a judge would serve 3 constituencies, jurisdictions, electorates in a term. So if they were to run 3 times, that's 9 different constituencies that they would serve, because they will be randomly chosen to distribute fill positions across the Republic. So in that way, it's fair. So there's no conflict of interest again. So, and it's the same, right? They can run for any constituency, but only one of the choice. So what is the meaning of this? Well, the meaning of this is that, let's talk about it. So at the judicial branch level, a judge is not there to pass down sentences or verdicts or decisions or give directions, right? A judge is only there to oversee procedures, due process of law, to guide and guide the hearings, the cases, to ensure legal freedoms and our infinite freedoms are upheld, right? And all the different stages are completed for due process of law, okay? So this is a fundamental freedom. So that's the judge is that for that very reason. It's the only reason why the judge is there. And the superintendent is being elected to enforce the decisions, the verdicts, the sentences, the directions of that specific hearing, that specific case that's taking place within any given jurisdiction, right? And who gives directions, and the superintendent is also the leader of that jurisdiction's, that constituency, that electorate police force, as well as the enforcer. But that person wrote, because of the nature of the role, they would rotate every year as well, for as long as for the length of their term. Okay, so they're just there to enforce their decisions, the directions, the verdicts and the sentences provided, the decisions given by the jurors, by the jury, because the power is in the citizen, right? Each individual has infinite power, infinite energy, infinite love, infinite freedoms. So the power of we're a direct democracy. So we are the power of our democratically elected government at the 3 levels of governance comes from the individual, from the human heartbeat, for the identity and the true self, from the compass, from the sundial. So it is the jurors that make decisions, right? And say, for example, there is 3 levels of the legal system has 3 levels of courts, right? Three levels of jurisdiction. So there is 3 levels of appeal. So there is the first the low court level is one jurisdiction, right? One jurisdiction. And that jurisdiction obviously has a judge and a superintendent. But then the jurors, who are the ones who make the decisions because of the infinite free will and infinite consent freedoms, to be the jurors, because jurors are also randomly chosen for each case, and they cannot see that case again at any levels of appeal. So if a case was to be appealed, new jurors will be chosen from the constituencies randomly. So there is no conflict of interest. So then again, at the lowest level, the low court level, there is 10 jurors that come together as one in the jury to make a decision. And the decisions are reached when they have a consensus of 90%. So 90% of the jurors, so 9 out of 10, have to agree. And there is deliberation, there is debate, there is all these different stages to make sure that decision is reached. But in the end, they don't have the final say, because the final say is the individual, right? So once they reach a decision, the public is notified, the citizenry, and then the citizen can have infinite veto powers freedoms to make sure that this is actually the right answer, right? The right decision to uphold our freedoms, legal freedoms or infinite freedoms. So essentially what this means is that after the veto powers freedoms are exercised, right, infinite veto powers freedoms are exercised by anyone in the citizenry, after that decision is reached and gets to that stage, that threshold is met, is reached, then it goes to discovery to make sure why is this veto being exercised, right? So then after that, after all the gatherings and all the information is there, then the jurors, the same 10 jurors, say at that level of court, the jurisdiction, the appeal would come again and do deliverance to ensure that 90% reaches. And this process goes until there is no more veto taking place. And then the decision is final. And then the individuals, the citizens that are in that case, as part of our due process of law, then they have the infinite freedoms to appeal, right, whatever decision, and then that moves into the second level of court, right, which is the medium court level, and the medium court level is 2 jurisdictions, and and that individual cannot, whoever the citizens who are part of that case as a due process of law legal freedoms, the appeal, right, at the medium court level is under 2 jurisdictions, meaning a new, not the original judge, not the original superintendent of that constituency, but a new one out of the other constituency would be the new judge and the new superintendent, because of conflict of interest, for fairness reasons. And then new jurors will be elected from 10 jurors from each constituency, you see, because it's 2 constituencies now. So the jury will be 20 jurors now. So it's a bigger decision. More people are involved in the process. It's more transparent, right? There's more visibility. There's more oversight, right? To ensure freedoms, because these individuals, these citizens, decided to appeal this decision for a reason, right? So then the same process starts again. And say, for example, because of efficiency reasons, any citizen can have their cases heard in any jurisdiction, whether it's low court, medium, or level, or high court levels. It doesn't really matter, because it's just the due process that matters, right? So then it could be anywhere in the jurisdictions of the Republic of Planet Earth. Anywhere, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't have to be in a specific area. It can be anywhere, right? It could be right. They can, with their infinite free will, they can go to any jurisdiction and apply for a case, right? Because of the infinite free will, and then due to efficiencies, that case can be allocated to a random court case, so to be heard anywhere in the jurisdictions because of efficiencies and fairness and transparency, due to efficiencies, right? To avoid all sorts of things that are with a distributed system is efficient, so unfair, so then and transparent. Everyone has access. It's distributed, so it's open, right? It's a direct democracy. So we are. It's open. It's an open society. It's an open republic. Everyone has access to everything. So then the same process starts, right? So the 20 tutors are the ones that give directions, and then the judge just is there to oversee due process. And then the superintendent enforces the decision in the end after all the veto stages are reached, because infinite veto powers, freedoms are always there in place by anyone from the public to veto that decision. Once the decision, the threshold of 90% at that level, it's always a 90% threshold, is met. So that can be vetoed. And then the discussion start again to ensure why, to make sure that everything is done according to legal freedoms. And then after all the veto stages are completed, then the decision is made. And say that the individual disagrees with the decision, appeals, then there is the high court level, which is 4 jurisdictions now. So the jurors will be, out of 10 jurors from each jurisdiction, 4 new jurisdictions, right? And a new judge and a new superintendent, right? And still infinite veto powers. And then after everything happens, then the decision is final, right? But you see all these checks and balances to ensure infinite freedoms and legal freedoms, you see? So that's why, and this is one jurisdiction, one constituency jurisdiction constituency is 10,000 citizens, and encompassing the original constituency jurisdiction of the local government, which is 5,000. So you see, it's to protect our infinite freedoms, and we have these systems in place where there is no bias, right? Because the system is fair. So because the system has been designed and created to uphold infinite freedoms for eternity, for the Republic of Planet Earth, us, the citizenry of the Republic of Planet Earth, because this is our constitution. So you see, it's very fair. So that's the second year of elections, and we all have voting freedoms, which is this video, right? So we can vote, elect whoever we want to represent us. But then that person is not, whoever you choose in your constituency is not going to be representing you per se, because they're going to be randomly chosen and allocated and distributed to fill positions of jurisdictions across the republic anyway. It's just so you choose someone, the one that you think is the best representing your personal beliefs, your interests, because you know that whatever that person goes at representative across any jurisdiction, that person is going to be doing the right thing, whether it's a judge or a superintendent. All right, the same applies to local government. That person is going to have the duty of care of those assets of the republic for excellent standard of care, right? That we all own all the assets anyway. So all the buildings of government, all the infrastructure of government, all the assets are owned by the Republic of Planet Earth, the citizenry of the Republic of Planet Earth, us, the individuals, the human heart. So you see, and then the third year of your voting freedoms, is the central seat, which is this seat that the ratio is 1 elected official for every 20,000. You see, so it doubles in size now. So it encompasses both the jurisdiction constituency of the judicial electorate, the seat, and the jurisdiction constituency of the electorate, the seat of the local government. So you see, it's essentially there as because it's a central seat, is where it's a legislative branch, is where all the matters of constitutional law and real important things that apply to everyone in the Republic of Planet Earth are discussed, are heard. Okay, the big things, the really big things are discussed there. So you see, and it's the same process. Candidates that run can only choose one constituency of 20,000 people, 20,000 citizens. And once they're chosen, elected, then they're all at once randomly chosen to fill positions across the jurisdictions of the constituency of the central seat. And every year they rotate. So they rotate they essentially serve 3 jurisdictions in one term. And if they do consecutive or non-consecutive terms, and the limit is 3, so it's up to 9 constituencies that we do, because it will be up to 9 years. So you see, it starts with the local, then in first year, the second year is judicial, and the third year is central seat. So in that way, the whole system is essentially in place. And the elections are every 3 years. So the first year is one, the second year, and the third year. And then those individuals run for 3 years, right? So every 3 years, the whole system gets elected again. The new positions, the new representatives are chosen, are elected, and all the elected officials and the positions and the roles and the seats are filled. So the cycle goes every 3 years, and everyone is randomly chosen, equal in status, to represent the interests of the Republic of Planet Earth, which is our freedoms. So what's the central seat then, right? What's the central seat? Well, the central seat is the central seat is the epicenter, is where the biggest decisions are reached. So as you can see, there will be less representatives of this scale than there will be at the judicial or the local, because it's less relevant, in the sense that the most important is the local, right? And the second most important is the judicial, because you're protecting the freedoms. And then the third one is that central, to ensure that everything is in place that matters for the Republic. So so these individuals, once they're all elected, they all randomly chosen to then again fill positions across the jurisdictions of the central seat of the Republic of Planet Earth. And they rotate every year. But there is 5 committees at the central seat level of governance. And these committees are in place to oversee oversight committees to ensure freedoms, to warrant and guarantee freedoms. So essentially, the moment that everyone is elected and everyone is randomly chosen and distributed to choose, after that is completed, then at the same time, so each committee is formed by 20% of the constituent. So it's formed by 20% of the pool of elected candidates for the central seat. So it's 5 committees, so 20%. So everyone is a member of a committee, but they're all chosen at once simultaneously. So they have all the same probability of being chosen for a specific committee, say, because they're all randomly chosen anyway and distributed and fair. So what that does is that they're chosen for the committee. Okay, they're chosen for the committee. Okay, so then there is 5 committees, right? There is 5 committees. So that means that everyone will be a member of a committee. Okay, and these committees are, for example, one committee is the Debt Oversight Committee, to make sure that the government reduces and clears all debt and oversees debt. So this is 20% of the central seat. They will be making sure that if there is any debt, anyway, all government debt is funded by constituency bonds, purposeful constituency bonds. So it's the citizens, because of the issue of currency freedoms, that issue bonds and fund the government, and the government pays interests and all sorts of so the beneficiaries of the bond is the citizen, because the citizen is a de facto bank. So all of us, because of our financial freedoms and economic freedoms, you see. So even if there is debt, it's still our own debt. So we still have oversight, though, to manage it, and we still have infinite veto powers freedoms to make sure that the committee does the right thing. So that's one committee level. Then there's a budgetary committee as well, budget oversight, to make sure that the budget of the Republic, with the funds that we contributed as tax holder, with our tax number holders as contributors, because we choose where our taxes go as well. There's no one telling us what the tax, or there's no the treasury and all these and the committee, budget oversight committee, they're not gonna be there to choose and do as they please with the funds. No, this is our money. So we choose and allocate, we contribute to buckets and ceilings, all our funds from our budget, from our wallet that we pay taxes on, income tax on. We would choose where that money goes. So but the budget oversight committee, which is 20% of the central seat, is there to ensure that there is guidelines in place with support of the treasury. So essentially what this means is that we warrant economic, financial, and issue of currency freedoms. Why? Because it is the individual with the power, so we choose where our money goes, right? Because we are the ones that, with our infinite free will, chose to contribute in the first place and pay a tax on our income, which we generate with our own wallet in the first place, so the system becomes sustainable. So we choose where this money that the government is using goes to. And on top of that, if there is need for more funds because the contributions are not enough, we still, on the treasury, we still have issue of currency freedom, so we still fund the government with our own purposeful constituency citizenry bonds that we issue from constituencies from our own wallet, so we get paid interest on it by the government because we own those. So then the government can function and have full budgets and meet budgets, right? So the committee is there to ensure that the central government, once all the contributors have allocated their contributions, us holding tax number holders, right? Through the distributed ledger that we have in our app, just like the wallet where we issue our money, we also have an app within our wallet that allows us to contribute our tax, our contributions, right? So the budget oversight committee is there to make sure that there is the right guidelines, meaning there is buckets and ceilings to make sure that everything that matters across the Republic because of the Heritage and Legacy Office is met. All the essential infrastructure, health, education, anything that there is met. If there is anything that is an asset of the Republic, that is of the public benefit. So in that way, you see they're there to ensure everything is, and also to deliver surpluses. We, by law, it's part of our constitutional framework. There must be budgets made, and it's a non-inflationary nature of the Republic. So our currency revalues every day, appreciates every year because of the purchasing power of the currency goes up because there's a mandate with the central seat, right, to the treasury to ensure that there's no inflation, right? And so the value of our purchasing power goes up every day, every year. So our money is worth more, right? We don't debase our currency. So because we are the de facto banks. So then, because of budgets, then we can have a sense of the nature of how much tax revenue is generated and contributions, and then because of then if there is gaps, buckets and ceiling gaps that matter, and it's all public, transparent. So the citizenry, remember, chooses where the funds go. So the budget oversight is there only to make sure that budget is met and all the contributions are done right. And there is buckets and ceilings for all the essential things that matter for the Republic. And if a bucket or a ceiling is met, then the remaining funds, we allocate it whatever we wish because we have to make those contributions, right? But the budget is there, and they also have the oversight is to make sure that budget is not only provided within the beginning of the fiscal year, but that there is all these guidelines and all these checks and balances in place to make sure that the Republic is always generating surpluses, right? And we have the Earth Sovereign Wealth Fund as well to make sure that we become richer and richer and richer. So you see, and it's the Treasury that oversees these. So so that's that. But then there is the Electoral Transparency Freedoms as well committee, which is there to warrant our electoral freedoms. And then still, individuals can veto the committees as well in case there's malfeasance as well. But everything is transparent. The system is fully transparent. Everything is distributed in the ledger, and everyone can see and be notified of what's happening anyway. So then that's that third committee. And then the fourth committee is Foreign Direct Investment Committee, meaning that if we were to engage with other republics or other peoples or other planets, right, or other states that want to engage with us, but they don't have rights in our republic, no freedoms because they're not citizens, we have an oversight committee to ensure our lands and territories freedoms, to make sure that whatever investment is an investment that is pro-freedom and it enhances the Republic of Planet Earth and it benefits us all. So there's that oversight there as well. There is that oversight there as well. And there is another committee, the fifth committee, which is, so we have the budget, we have the debt, we have the electoral, we have the foreign direct investment committee, and we have one more committee. And this committee is, it will come to mind. So there is another committee in place, and that committee is there also the obsolescence committee. So we have an obsolescence committee to make sure that we phase out all services and matters of law and functions of the government that are obsolete, that they no longer service us. So and they always be there in place to make sure that at any level of governance, local, judicial, and central, we don't have laws that are not conducive to freedom. So you see, so these five committees are fundamental, and they are formed from the central seat, right? Everyone is a member of a committee, they're chosen, and every year they rotate. So a term is 3 years, right? So there's 5 committees, so everyone will be able to be a member of a committee in one term. But they cannot be a member of the 2 committees, only one, and they cannot be a member of a committee again under any circumstances, under any term, whether consecutive or non-consecutive. So in that way, it's fairness. So everyone gets to be a committee member, and you don't get to repeat because of fairness, right? And then again, at the central seat, you're also distributed. You fill positions across the jurisdiction. You're not going to be in the jurisdiction that chose you. So you see, the system is fair. So then also there is the executive branch, the executive office that is originated from the central seat. And this is because we have 5 departments, right? 5 branches, 5 departments, 5 secretaries. And these are the Department of Defense and Self-Defense, the Department of Foreign Office, the Heritage and Legacy Office, the Treasury, and the Department of Justice, right? And essentially, the secretaries of these departments are randomly chosen, equal in status, from the pool of elected official candidates from the central seat, right? They're chosen at the same. So committees are chosen, and after committees are chosen, so first everyone fills positions randomly. Then the committees are chosen, and then after that, these 5 individuals are chosen randomly to be the secretaries as well. So and then they rotate every year as well, and no one can be the secretary of that department again, and you can only be the secretary once in a term anyway. So everyone has a fair go to becoming a chance of becoming a secretary, and they can be substituted anyway for any matter, any reason, if required or necessary. That secretary can be substituted at any time by any other elected official from the pool of central seat candidates randomly chosen from the remaining pool if there is a need for it because of any reason. So, and why do we have these centrals? Why do we have a centralized position? Why do we have a person? Well, because sometimes in matters of existence, we need to engage on one-on-one conversations. You cannot have the entirety of the central seat meeting in a place, or joining an event, or meeting with, say, a functionary, right, of a specific state, or a different republic, or a different government that is not that of the Republic of Planet Earth. So one-on-one meetings and all that, because there are other states that have different ways of governance that are more primitive than ours. So we still need to be able to have this person, this voice that is all of us at once anyway, because the executive office, that is the one that trains the secretaries anyway, also trains all the elected officials at the central seat level. Okay, so everyone knows the functions because they can be substituted at any time, and also because of duty of care, because of fairness, transparency. You want to make sure that standards of excellence is there in place to uphold our freedoms, right? Because this executive, right, this is just an executive office that is this person that is just like a representative, a voice of all of us together for that specific matter, whatever is justice, defense, or self-defense, the treasury, the heritage and legacy office, and the Department of State, right, for any matters, because each of them have these preambles for each of these departments and the purpose as to why they're there in the first place. You see, so but that person doesn't have any power, doesn't decision executive power. That's just there as a witness to have those meetings, and then that information is always going to be distributed and decentralized anyway, and everyone is going to be informed of what happens in those meetings because of transparency freedoms is the way of our system. Nothing is secret. Everything is available to everyone anyway. So there could be infinite veto powers freedoms, or the central seat, the oversight, the executive office, that is everyone in the central seat can also veto that and see what's going on. So they see, and those people, if it's malfeasance, they also can be substituted or anything really. So that's there. So we can have the flexibility that it comes with that, with meeting with other states and things of that nature, other republics, other people, other countries, other nations, other governments, other ways of organization, other peoples. So that is the reason. So the Department of Defense and Self-Defense is there for our defense, our self-defense and our defense, right, as the Republic of Planet Earth. Then the Department of Justice is the legal system, right, the court systems to ensure our legal freedoms, right. The Treasury is there to help the committee of debt, the debt oversight committee, the budget oversight committee, and to ensure deflation and surplus are met, and our financial freedoms and our economic freedoms and our issue of currency freedoms. And also the Treasury has a license given to us at certain cases to issue bonds on our behalf, because we own the bonds anyway, but they would issue them under the sacred, if they are, say, they need to fund any government level, and we give them that. But it's up to us because there is oversight and we have veto powers, right? So you see, it's that. And then the department, the Heritage and Legacy Office is the department, is the office that essentially, bestows, it oversees all the assets of the Republic, all the heritage or the legacy, all the things that are cultural things, all the things that really matter, that are part of our peoples, our heritage and legacy as a Republic of Planet Earth, or our lands and territories. So that's what bestows the duty of care to each of the constituents jurisdictions at the electoral level of the local government. So that elected official, the local government, can have the duty of care of those assets of the Republic. And any other matters of heritage and legacy that matters, that's what that department is there for, right? And the functions of it, the administrative functions of it, and all the administrative functions of all the departments. And the other department is the Department of State or Foreign Office, which is diplomacy, engaging in diplomacy with any other states. And obviously they're there to uphold our constitutional framework when dealing with other states and other peoples and other sentient species, and to uphold our freedoms, all our freedoms, right, when it matters to diplomatic relationships with other states. So you see, and then that's the nature of it. You see, the system is fully distributed and decentralized, and you get to vote because we have voting freedoms. And then, say for example, you committed an offense at any level, right? Because remember, there is the judicial seat. There's offenses, right? It could be minor, non-minor. It could be a serious offense, whatever level of offense that you have committed, and you have been, say, final decisions after all the levels of appeal and everything, and the veto powers and all the processes. You still don't lose your freedoms. You can still vote. You still always have voting freedoms to choose. What would be is that in some cases you won't be able to stand for office yourself if you're undergoing a sentence, or this something that a decision that's been reached that is essentially limiting you from running for office because of that reason. Because this is a mechanism to ensure that you learn that in order for you to be an elected representative, you need to make no offenses, because you're there as a public servant to serve the Republic of Planet Earth. This is the reason why you're there for, to serve us all, to ensure our freedoms and our constitutional framework. So you see, this is your voting freedoms. So you can do these. And remember, our system is fair. We have petitions. We have the ability to veto. We have the ability to remove officers from office, right? And we have the abilities to have referendums directly, petitioned by us. One person can, with a veto power, can create the conditions of discovery for 10% of any constituency to enact the petition required for a referendum or an act of law to be appealed or repealed, or made obsolete, phased out, right? Or simply to remove someone from office. So you see, we're very powerful. Infinite veto powers, freedoms, electoral freedoms, voting freedoms, standing for office freedoms, and all of us have these because the power comes from us, because the infinite eternal creator is the individual. So these are our voting freedoms. As you can see, we're very powerful. We're a very rich republic, a very prosperous republic. We're the most advanced and civilized governance system in existence because we're the epicenter of the cosmos. We're the central race. This is who we are. And we're all free. We're infinite eternal creators. We're co-creators of infinite eternities. This is our nature because love is the highest energy of creation. It comes from the human heart. And we are this. This is who we are. So you see, so voting freedoms. Our system is the fairest system that there is. Humanity, I love you all with all my heart, with all my might. I love you all with all my heart, with all my might. This video is about our voting freedoms, our constitutional way of life, our constitutional framework, our lifestyles. You see, we're infinitely free because of all of our freedoms. Humanity, I love you all with all my heart, with all my might. I love you all with all my heart, with all my might.